Go right now. We're going to talk to two women, a mom and a daughter. I'd like to welcome to the show Linda Kay and Lorraine Snyder Hanley. Linda Kay, welcome. Glad to have you ladies with us.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
And Lorraine, good to have
Thank
you
you
with
very
us.
much.
You betcha. Lorraine,
Thank you.
miracles on my doorstep. Linda, I'm going to get to you in a moment, but Lorraine, you are now 90 years old, and you have quite a story. And I love history of times before I was around. And 90 years ago, you were born in the Ukraine. And I would love, Lorraine, for you to just tell us your story. How old were you when you left, and give us a little bit of your childhood memories?
Well, I think there's a little error there. I was not born in the Ukraine. My parents were. And our parents didn't even speak English at home. We grew up with, well, I guess what we call speaking in tongues, because we had to more or less read our parents' lips to know what they were saying until we got into school, and then we had to merge into the English language real fast. But I think growing up as a child of Ukraine parents, work was very, very important. Your work ethic, you don't take anything from this country. You give back to this country. The freedoms that we have, this is what we have to do. And we have to work. And, of course, my parents both were, I would have to say, farm workers. My dad ran a grain elevator, and my mother was a gardener. And truck driving was very, very popular. And she grew her own vegetables, and I got to peddle them from door to door. Very entrepreneurish, even at an early age.
Lorraine, let me ask, excuse me for interrupting, Lorraine, but as you talk, and excuse me for interrupting, but I have some questions. When your parents were there before they immigrated here, what was the Ukraine, what was the government like at that time period? And this would have been early.
Quite a bit of tyranny.
What year did they come over?
Maybe you'll have to help me.
Yeah, 1895 to 1898.
Okay, so what was the government like at that time there in the Ukraine?
It was just tyranny was their thought. You didn't get to own anything; everything belonged to the government.
So in 1991, freedom was something. Was in 1991 with the fall of the wall in the Soviet Union? Was that new freedom to Ukrainians?
No, they didn't have freedom yet at this time. They were still pretty much stuck in a hole, you might say, from the Tsarist and Alexander's reign, and from the Tsar. And they wanted to get away from communism as it was beginning to move forward. And, of course, Stalin was coming in about that time, and they feared even more when they were kept under extreme conditions. 11 and a half hours of work. If you had time left after that, you could save your pennies if there were any to save. Or you could barter for other things from other people, but the government more or less ran your life. And religion, forget that. There was no religion. You were ostracized and put in jail. Everything was very, very tight.
Let me ask you, Linda. Lorraine, thank you for that. Linda, in 1991, was that newfound freedom for people when the wall fell?
I think for a lot of people it was certainly, as you're describing the wall, I think you're referencing, another country, but, for the Ukraine, I have a lot of friends that have come from there, and still the type of oppression that my mom is describing, which when the takeover and push out of that government at that time, which was a 300-year-old dynasty called the Romanov dynasty, which was replaced by Stalinism, which became communism. I guess, since that time, not too many things are agreements mean anything, as evidenced by the fall that is taking place right now in the Ukraine. The international agreement that was put in place, that was agreed to by the Russian government, well, it doesn't suit them, so let's put in something else. Let's take away from what they've got or what we agreed to, because it wasn't my agreement, it was their agreement. agreements don't mean anything.
Well, the market economy started in the Ukraine in 1991. Do you still have family members over there, Lorraine, Linda? Do you guys still?
Yes, we do, but we have not kept in touch throughout the years. But there was a portion of the family that was left behind back in the 1800s, and of course we weren't able to keep up with them throughout the years. Yes, we do have family back then. Yes.
Yeah. Let me ask you. You talked about when your parents came over from the Ukraine, and their attitude, their work ethic, and we in the Central Valley here, we have a lot of people that are in ag here. From other countries, and some are legal, some are illegal as well. We're not going to delve into that, but there's a work ethic. I mean, they work long hours in this heat out here in these fields, in these vineyards, and as much as I disagree with George W. on many things, yeah, they do jobs a lot of Americans won't do. Have you seen a change in immigrants' attitudes? Let me ask you that, Lorraine, because you remember seeing the attitude in your immigrant parents.
I think I have seen a change in the attitude of the immigrants. I think the immigrant today might have it just a hair easier. The immigrants of my parents' day, first of all, they weren't given any kind of a stipend. That's all. They had to get out there and work themselves. They were so delighted. They got to keep every dime that they earned. They didn't have to give it to the government anymore, other than, I suppose, taxes. But taxes, income taxes, however, not at that time didn't come into being until 1931 during Franklin Roosevelt, if you remember. So our people were so delighted. They were given land grants, but you had to improve those land grants. And it was 160 acres. Within 5 years, you must put up a house, a livable house, and have that 5 acres fenced, all completely fenced, and you had to show that you had money coming in off that land. Otherwise, you lost it. So, in essence, yeah, I guess you got a stipend from the government in that area. That most people worked together. They helped each other. You have a farm, I'll help you. You have 106 acres, I'll help you. So everyone got a fair share, but they worked their tails off. Yes, they worked from sun up to sundown. They were farmers. They were people of the earth, and they worked hard. I watched the people here in immigration today. But many of the immigrants are very fortunate to have health care. If they're legal, they have health care. And even if they don't, there's a lot of people that have health care, which was not available in those days.
Well, I will assume your parents immigrated legally, stopped at Ellis Island and filled out every form. We have such an issue today with that. Let me ask Linda Kay here, if you had to describe Miracles on My Doorstep, I'm asking you to do that right now.
Beautiful. Thank you. It's a book about promise, about hope. It's about living a full life, not sitting and whining about what you didn't get, but about dealing your hands that you do get. It is a promise of belief and faith and love and mercy and God.
We don't need any of that today. Stop it. Come on.
No. God, really? Do we really need that, Trevor?
Oh, you just, that was like a sprinkling of some heaven down on us here. Well, we need that on a Thursday.
We'll take it.
Hey, Lorraine, I love your laugh. Thank you for that. And Linda, thank you for what you're doing. And what a combo team to have a mom and daughter out there getting the story out
Amen.
here. Well, ladies, hey, where can they get it, Linda? Lorraine, where can they pick this book up at?
They can go out to
Amazon.
Wait a minute, Mom. They can go out to www.miraclesonmydoorstep.com, or they can go out to Amazon. And there was a reason why the both of us wrote this book. Mom went blind at 87. She's 90 today, so she had all of these stories, but didn't have the ability to be able to put them into place and into stories. So I became her hands and her eyes. And she loves to say this over and over again: I might have lost my sight, but I have not lost my vision.
Lorraine, we love that. We're going to remember that quote. You can write that down and put it on your mirror as you have your